Hi, welcome to Sneak Peek. I'm Alfredo.
And I'm Jewel. We've got a great show lined up tonight.
That's right, 2014 is starting off strong. We got an interview with Inside Doings David star Oscar Isaac.
And speaking of Oscars, Chloe is here to give us her opinion on who and what got snubbed by the Academy Awards.
Plus, Star Squad is coming back covering the Screen Actors Guild Awards.
Sit back and enjoy. Sneak Peek starts now. Before we start the show, we find it important to announce that teen pop sensation Justin Bieber has been arrested for driving under the influence.
No!
Whoa, what's wrong, Alfredo? Are you really that big of a fan of Bieber?
We call it believers, Joel. Believers.
Oh.
And he's too beautiful, he's too pure.
He's a punk, Alfredo.
What? Will a punk smile during his mugshot?
Yes, a punk would absolutely do that.
He puts it off with such style and grace.
And speaking of style and grace, let's take a look at more wholesome celebrities with Olivia as she gives us her fashion expertise on this week's SAG Awards Style Squad.
Hey Sneak Peekers, last week the stars were shining bright at the 20th annual Screen Actors Guild Awards red carpet. Now you're probably thinking, who cares about the SAGs? Well, with the SAGs preceding the Oscars, we, the fashion-minded, get another opportunity at glamorous and swankier red carpet style before March 2nd. The following are my selections for Saturday night's highlights. If gravity didn't already drop people's jaws from the natural allure of Sandra Bullock, then her emerald green Lanvin gown did the trick. Bullock launched herself onto one of the night's best dress, accessorizing with Jimmy Choo shoes, a Roger Vivier clutch, and Fred Leighton jewelry. Not only did her pulled updo and soft natural makeup work well with the dress, but the sophisticated bow design on the bodice allowed the SAG nominee to show off some leg as well. With such dazzle coming from the Gravity star, here's hoping that her Oscar attire will also blast us away. Amy Adams wows in old Hollywood glamour with her royal blue Antonio Berardi dress, along with Jimmy Choo shoes, Salvatore Ferragamo clutch, and Cartier jewels. From top to bottom, the ensemble excels, starting with the pinned-up hairstyle and teardrop earrings to the asymmetrical cut on the one-shoulder sleeve and neckline, the diamond-encrusted belt along the waist, to the matching silver heels. The silhouette of the dress perfectly fit her figure too, giving us more reason to rave over the American Hustle star's appearance. Lupita Nyong'o not only won the SAG for outstanding performance by a female actor in a supporting role, but she won me over again on the red carpet. Her light blue Gucci gown, interlined with intricate floral beads around the décolletage, looked stunning. Normally, I'd be wary about wearing this color early in January, but the 12 Years a Slave star knocks it out of the park, accentuating the hue of the gown with the light blue eyeshadow and soft pink lipstick. Completing the SAG winner's look are Christian Louboutin shoes, Monica Rich Casson clutch, and Fred Leighton jewelry. I cannot wait to see what she wears to the Oscars. Speaking of 12 Years a Slave, Nyong'o's co-star and SAG nominee Chiwetel Ejiofor looked dashing in his navy blue rake tux and Prada shoes. The British actor's choice of suit also corresponded well alongside girlfriend Sari Mercer's white flowing dress. And although he lost out to Matthew McConaughey for outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role, we can all agree that Ejiofor is a winner among the men on the red carpet this year. All right. There's no denying that SAG winner Matthew McConaughey and wife Camila Alves are the red-hot red carpet couple this awards season. McConaughey's dark gray polka dot Dolce & Gabbana tux paired with Todd's shoes wasn't an outfit I expected to instantly like, but he pulled it off well beside Alves' gorgeous yellow silk vintage Donna Karan atelier dress and Cassati shoes. McConaughey's risk-taking in both fashion and in roles such as Dallas Buyers Club are paying off big time. Throughout previous style squads, I have applauded Sofia Vergara for making bold statements on the carpet and finding gowns that fit her voluptuous curves. This silver strapless shimmer Donna Karan dress, topped with Amrapali Victorian rose-cut diamond jewels, just dulled to me. As a sparkle lover, it's a beautiful gown, but it was something that we've seen before, and the huge necklace especially overwhelms the collarbone. I would have loved to see Sophia take on a bigger risk at the SAGs, like Julia Roberts did with her pink Valentino jumpsuit, and the expectant Kerry Washington in her pink beaded crop top and midnight blue Prada skirt. The SAG nominee has plenty of opportunities to redeem herself, so I'm not really worried. Jennifer Lawrence has 1 week to turn things around from her parodied white Dior Haute Couture Globes dress, as she did so with her purple and blue striped and sparkled Dior gown. The strapless form and unique sequin embellishment seem to fit her like a glove, although the overall coating of the material could have been a bit better. In addition to that, J-Law wore Brian Atwood shoes, Jennifer Meyer jewelry, and sported a Jimmy Choo bag, which seemed to match just right. And while this isn't my favorite look of the SAG nominee, her ability to turn things around is quite impressive. And last but not least, Cate Blanchett in Givenchy and Chopard jewels. Now, it's not that I didn't love the soft pink color or the shimmer along the waist, but the top half it just looked like an oversized fancy bib that you'd wear on special occasions at the Red Lobster. It also made the Blue Jasmine actress and SAG winner appear pregnant too. Blanchett's 1960s inspired updo coincided well with her soft pink makeup, but this ensemble just didn't appeal to me as much as her Golden Globes look did. It could have been much worse though. She could have been Claire Danes in V&A. And that's all I have for you this week, Sneak Peekers. Style Squad covers the Grammys red carpet next week, and you don't want to miss out. Back to you, Alfredo and Jewel.
While fashion moved forward on the SAG Awards red carpet, Oscar Isaac, Carey Mulligan, and Justin Timberlake went retro in the newest Coen Brothers film Inside Llewyn Davis.
It's funny though. I wish they would bring back that kind of stuff back.
Like plaid pants and mock turtlenecks.
Oh yes, I love a man with a mock turtleneck.
Oh, well, here's Dew in his review of the Golden Globe nominated film.
This is Dew Napatulung, and we're here with Oscar Isaac, the lead role of Inside Llewyn Davis, for a sit-down interview at AFF 2013. First of all, I would like to say congratulations on the film and congratulations on your recent successes. I'm really glad to see you more and more on screen these days. It's awesome.
Thanks, man.
So thank you very much. My first question is that seeing the film last night, knowing about Llewyn Davis, he singer-songwriter in the 60s. Is there anything more you can tell us about him? His dreams, his goals, his desires, his fears, anything like that?
Well, first of all, he's not a songwriter. The term singer-songwriter that came, way later. He's a folk musician, so he plays old songs. He doesn't write songs. And that's one of the. It's important because people are becoming during the film. Really, people are becoming less interested in the guy that plays old folk songs. But that's what he does. He doesn't write new songs. And if people are less interested in old folk songs, these guys were more like curators or DJs. They'd find these old songs and put them together and present them. But as recordings and records became more and more popular, I have the original here. What do I need you to sing me old songs for? So that became a little bit more obsolete. But that's his authentic self. That's who he is. So what happens is when Dylan comes in and he synthesizes what the beat poets are doing with the writing, and he takes the old sound from the folk songs and he makes this new thing. And this movie takes place in that vacuum where the old hadn't quite died out yet and the new hadn't quite been born yet, and that's where Llewyn finds himself. And he's trying to figure out what his authentic voice is. Or I think he knows what it is, but he's trying to figure out how to continue in this world that seems to not really want that anymore.
So the entire time I was watching, you delivered a really powerful performance, and I was emotionally captivated the entire time. What do you hope for the audience to understand from your character? Is there anything that you want to get for them to get out of your performance? Or
No, you don't really. I don't really work that way. Where it's like I try to, the camera. The only thing the camera does is it sees. It doesn't judge at all. It doesn't, manipulate anything really. The camera itself just sees, and what it wants to see is someone seeing. It doesn't want to see someone presenting necessarily something. I think that's when and I think particularly with Llewyn's character, it was just about really feeling those feelings of frustration and hopelessness, and at the same time wanting so desperately to connect. And his only source of connection is his music. So I think, if anything, there's this Bukowski poem called Bluebird. I don't know if you've read it before. Yeah, it's, basically the line is, "There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I'm too tough for him. And I inhale cigarette smoke and pour whiskey on him." And it's that idea that he's this guy that's just shut off, but the only time he opens up and shows you that bluebird is when he plays his songs.
Do you have any favorite folk songs or singer-songwriter songs that you've come across during the filming or afterwards that you would recommend to me?
Yeah, I mean, I fell in love with Dave Van Ronk, so I definitely would recommend you checking out any of Dave Van Ronk's stuff. He's got such a particular way of playing. He plays a guitar like ragtime piano, or he says, I should have been a piano player, but by the time I figured that out, I'd been playing guitar for too long. So, and then Karen Dalton, I found, she's a very tragic story, but she, amazing 12-string guitar player and such a beautiful and timeless voice.
Okay, well, thank you very much. It's really nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you
and
too.
really nice to see you on screen again. I hope you find all the successes.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
So, even though I'm still not totally sure what the movie is about, Dude kept saying it was simply riveting.
Really? Because Jude told me that's utterly fantastic.
Well, we could argue adjectives while we give the viewers a break.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sneak Peek. After airing its 100th episode 2 weeks ago, NBC comedy Parks and Recreation, starring Amy Poehler, is going to run for its 7th season.
That's right. Although no one at NBC has officially renewed the Critical Darling, at a Television Critics Association presentation this past week, NBC Entertainment President Bob Greenblatt said that he would go out on a limb and say that the Parks season would be renewed for yet another season for more local government hygiene.
And here, for more television news, is Paul with the dish.
Been wondering what you should watch on watch and/or torrent this spring? Well, lucky for you, because I'm back, bitches. And so is Community, which thankfully has rebounded from that notorious season 4 slump, mostly thanks to the highly lauded return of the original series showrunner Dan Harmon. I have to admit, I kind of hated the first 2 episodes and didn't find it funny at all. I just assumed that everyone had ran out of ideas and the show was going to suck now. But thankfully they proved me wrong with 2 stellar episodes last week. My face still hurts from laughing, so if you don't still have a ticket for the bandwagon, they're still available. Another of NBC's spring shows that you should that should be added to your must-watch list, Hannibal. Yeah, I know, it seems like Hollywood has milked Hannibal Lecter dry. Isn't 5 movies and an Oscar enough? Hell no. This series, made by the same guy that did the visually compelling Pushing Daisies, chooses to move the liver-eating doctor to a supporting role and rather focuses on a gorgeous murder-filled fantasy world through the lovely but super creepy Hugh Dancy, a deeply conflicted criminal profiler. Did I mention it's gorgeous? Who would have thought cannibalism could look so mouth-watering? If you haven't seen the first season, it's easy to open and download Pirate Bay, or buy the DVD, whatevs. Now for the new spring series. The very first is a promising comedy about a childish, self-absorbed lawyer called Rake, starring Greg Kinnear. That's right, Greg Kinnear is back from the oblivion known as playing Miley Cyrus's dad. Even a feat even the great Billy Ray Cyrus has yet to conquer. This show looks hilarious and is getting solid reviews, and the good news, it's actually hysterical, at least from what I've seen. I know I'm sick of lawyer shows too, but this one is much more about character. Kinnear is a surefire Emmy contender come summer. Next on the list is Looking, a new HBO drama from the gay Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Jonathan Groff, whom you may know as Jesse St. James in Glee. Straight men can stop paying attention now. The show follows the lives of gay men in San Fran, or else, as they go on their quest for hot, steamy gay love. This show is getting fantastic reviews, as well as, while I haven't seen anything but the trailer, I'm excited to see a show that finally portrays the gay culture in a realistic way. It's assembled a very attractive cast of men, and as far as I can tell, they're not too queeny. Okay, straight men, uncover your ears, because this next one is right up your alley, I think. I just need to reel you back in. Klondike is a new period drama from Ridley Scott about the California Gold Rush and the Discovery Channel's first foray into scripted shows. While it just ended its run, you should still definitely check it out because Ridley Scott's a god. Because if there's one thing I know straight men love, it's period dramas. Now for a very gay show that very straight audiences will also enjoy. Chosen is a new FX animated comedy about a white gay rapper and his rise in the industry. SNL alum Bobby Moynihan voices the rapper with a supporting cast of Michael Pena and the always hilarious Hannibal Buress. FX comedies kill it. And this one should be no exception. This show was originally supposed to air on the new channel FXX, but the network decided it was too fabulous to stack on the MTV2 of its empire. If that's not enough to convince you, I don't know what is. The final one on the list is Helix, a new series from Battlestar Galactica creator Ronald D. Moore about a team of scientists investigating a possible disease outbreak. Don't let the fact that it airs on Sci-Fi Channel fool you. This man knows how to make a show, and if you've ever seen BSG, you know he knows how to put your emotions through the ringer. Bring it on, Ronald. My body's ready. I have to give a special shout out to the limited IFC series Spoils of Babylon, whose humor is kind of in the same vein as Portlandia, and hosts a slew of guest stars, including Kristen Wiig, in a very funny return to TV. But that's all the time I have, so if you want more suggestions, you'll just have to come to the cage they keep me in underneath the studio. And back to you guys. Bring food.
You know, I know it hasn't been very long, but you know what show I really miss?
Which one?
Breaking Bad.
Oh, me
That
too.
perfect mix of drama and action and hard narcotics.
Well, you're in luck because Sneak Peek got an interview with Giancarlo Esposito at Comic-Con.
Isn't that Gus? He's evil. And also, he shouldn't be...
Whoa. Spoilers for people who haven't seen it.
Good point. Here's our interview with Giancarlo Esposito.
How's it going, Sneak Peek? I'm Christian, and I'm here with Mr. Giancarlo Esposito. It's nice to meet you.
Good to see you.
All right, can we talk about Revolution for a second?
Sure.
The show you're currently on. So for season 1, you filmed in North Carolina, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, we were in Wilmington, North Carolina. We're now in Austin, Texas, and we love it.
Okay.
We love it here. We've been shooting out near Bastrop and
okay.
all these other places within an hour of Austin, and it's been great to be here and put some local filmmakers to work. They do a great job on the show, and it's a better show for being here.
What do you see like a big difference in between the filming locations? Like, is Austin better than North Carolina or vice versa?
Well, we just have a larger area to pull from here in Austin. We can get down to San Antonio, we can get out to Bartlett, to Bastrop. We get all this farm country, and we can convert little small towns into sets. So it really works for our show.
Okay. And regarding the episodes itself, last we left off, you found out your wife was alive, right? That's the last thing we saw.
Sure did.
And the show doesn't return until January 8th? Is that
I guess it's somewhere in there, yeah.
Do you have any teases about what we can expect from Neville?
I wouldn't want to spoil it for you, but Neville everyone asks me if he's good or bad. And Neville's a guy who's looking out for everyone's best interest, and right now he's looking for justice. So he's moving toward the good side, which is a great thing.
Okay. And can we shift gears to Breaking Bad topics? Okay. Better Call Saul has been announced, and it's going to be a prequel series, right? And have you been approached, or would you be interested in possibly returning as Gus Fring to the series?
I would. I don't know. Gus Fring is such an iconic character at this point. I don't know what kind of show Better Call Saul will be.
Yeah.
It has to be commensurate with Breaking Bad. Obviously, Vince Gilligan's doing it, and I love him, but I don't know if I would go on that show full time. I think that what I've done as Gus Fring will live on forever, and I don't want to spoil it.
Okay. And we're at Comic-Con, the comic convention. Are you a big comic book fan, or?
I'm not a huge comic book fan. I love comic books, though certain ones. but I certainly love the idea that these folks who are so in love with comics have the ability to translate that into films and have the ability to create this kind of environment where everyone comes and celebrates.
And what's your favorite part about conventions like these?
Oh, I think I love seeing people dressed up and having fun.
Just getting to meet the fans?
That's right.
Okay, well, thank you for talking with us.
My pleasure.
All right.
Sneak peek. We love you.
Woo, that jump caller can really twist my knickers.
I don't know what that means.
I'll tell you when you're older. For now, let's cut to a commercial break.
Okay. Joel, there's something I need to get off my chest.
What is it, Alfredo?
I love to sing.
Wow, that's amazing. Really? Why don't you show us something?
Well, that's the problem. No matter how hard I try, I cannot sing in front of people.
Oh, okay. Well, while you work on your stage fright, here's Clara Selena with the Grammy nominations predictions.
Alfredo and Jewel. Today, Selena and I are covering the much buzzed about Grammys this coming Sunday and its nominees.
This year's Grammy categories are numbered at 82. The categories range from Record of the Year to Best American Roots Song. The list certainly feels like it's lacking some major stars of the year. Nonetheless, the nominations are set and full of great talent. Here's who we're betting will take home that Grammy Gold.
First on the list is Record of the Year, which includes Get Lucky by Daft Punk, Radioactive by Imagine Dragons, Royals by Lorde, Locked Out of Heaven by Bruno Mars, and Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke featuring T.I. and Pharrell.
This one seems pretty close.
I think it'll be between Lorde and Daft Punk.
I think you're right, Claire. Lorde will probably win, but I think Daft Punk should be the one to get it. Get Lucky will be one of those songs that's still playing at frat parties in 10 years. Next up are nominees for Album of the Year. The Blessed Unrest by Sarah Bareilles, Random Access Memories by Daft Punk, Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar, The Heist by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, Red by Taylor Swift.
Sarah Bareilles surprisingly made it onto that list with her album, The Blessed Unrest. The album is actually out of Billboard's Top 200 album chart.
Yeah, and Justin Timberlake's The 2020 Experience did not make it, which is really strange because, come on, comeback of the century.
That was a huge shock for me too, Selena. I mean, Mirrors came out a year ago, and I'm still playing it on repeat.
I'm definitely guilty of that too. But personally, I think Swift has a pretty good chance here.
I completely agree. It'll be pretty hard to compete against her.
Well, the nominees for Song of the Year were all songs that you probably sang at the top of your lungs in your car at some point.
Oh, I know I did. In this category, we have Just Give Me a Reason by Pink featuring Nate Ruess, Locked Out of Heaven by Bruno Mars, Roar by Katy Perry, Royals by Lorde, and Same Love by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis featuring Mary Lambert.
My favorites are Just Give Me a Reason and Roar, but Same Love made such a statement this year that I can definitely see it receiving a Grammy.
I'm definitely rooting for Macklemore in this category.
The nominees for Best New Artist are James Blake, who is a star in Britain but didn't make much of an impact on the American charts, rapper Kendrick Lamar, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, country artist Casey Musgraves, and lastly, Ed Sheeran.
Who I really want Ed Sheeran to win, but I'm thinking the Grammy will most likely go to Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
This category is a little hard to predict, but yes, I think that with 7 nominations, they are not likely to go home Grammy-less. What's crazy is that Lorde was not even nominated for this category, even though Royals was nominated for Song of the Year and Record of the Year.
Some things I just don't understand. There are many stars that made it big in the public eye, but unfortunately didn't do so well in the eyes of the Recording Academy.
Sorry, Miley Cyrus. Well, that wraps up our insight on the Grammys. All will be revealed when the Grammys air on CBS Sunday night.
Back to you, Alfredo and Jewel.
My favorite part of a new year is hands down the award seasons.
You know, I can't really say anything's my favorite when said award show snubs you before you even give them a chance.
I'm sensing a little bit of anger, Joel. Just know I'm here for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm not talking about a guy, Alfredo. I'm literally talking about how the Academy snubbed arguably some of the best actors, actresses, and films for this year. Here's Chloe with more on this.
Thanks, guys. This past week, the nominees for the 86th Annual Academy Awards were announced. Though many fan and critic favorites were included, the Academy made what some may call egregious errors in its choices. After consulting those nominated for both the Golden Globes and the various Guild Awards, I have here my top 5 worst snubs this Oscar season. The Best Motion Picture category has 9 nominees this year, but that is several short according to numerous publications. The critically acclaimed Fruitvale Station, which opened last summer, did not receive a nomination. Starring Michael B. Jordan, it tells the story of a young man who wakes up on New Year's Eve determined to change his life around, but whose progress is halted by the horrific actions of several police officers. To me, this film seemed like a perfect Oscar contender, but perhaps its July 2013 release was just too early to be considered by Academy voters. In the acting categories, some big names were left off this year's guest list. Most upsettingly to me, Robert Redford was not nominated for his solo performance in All Is Lost. Speaking only one word the entire film, Redford's character must face his own mortality when he finds himself fighting insurmountable odds in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Though lauded as one of the greatest actors of the century, Redford has not received any Oscars for acting in his 54-year career. Emma Thompson was also shut out, having been nominated for both a Screen Actors Guild Award and a Golden Globe. She played sharp-witted P.L. Travers, the author of Mary Poppins and Saving Mr. Banks, this year's take on the story of how Mary Poppins made it to the big screen. Besides her outrageous talent, charm, and grace, I was most excited to see her carry a martini glass and her shoes up on stage again, as she did at the Golden Globes. In the directing category, Paul Greengrass of Captain Phillips was snubbed, having been nominated for both a Golden Globe and for a Directors Guild Award. Starring fellow snubby Tom Hanks, Greengrass depicted the story of the hijacking of Captain Richard Phillips' ship by Somali pirates. Greengrass was previously nominated for 2006's United 93. Lastly, Stories We Tell is a documentary exploring one family of storytellers' secrets and how memories affect the layers of truth in the stories we tell ourselves. Writer-director Sarah Polley has received much acclaim for her film, but not from the Academy. Unfortunately, this Writers Guild nominated film was also snubbed by the Academy of Motion Arts and Sciences. Look, every year the Oscars miss out on several great performances in films. What's important is knowing in your heart that your film deserves to win. And with that, I conclude my list of this year's Oscar snubs. Back to you guys.
Well, thanks for tuning in for our first show of the semester. It's been a blast.
And talking about blast, there's an Arctic one outside. Be sure to be warm and stay in.
And while you're staying in being warm, you can follow us on Twitter at Sneak Peek TV and like us on Facebook.
And that's all the vote we gained from us. Good night.